For Victims and Villains, my name is Josh, and today we are talking about the making of documentary, Not Just A Goof, which you can stream right now on Disney+. Just A Goof is an in-depth documentary that talks about the making of process as well as the lasting legacy of a Goofy movie. And this is one of those very rare films where I feel like I don't have a lot to say. So this will probably be a shorter review, but this film encapsulates all of my emotions for this film. So this review is going to be very biased, but yeah, this movie is nothing short of incredible. I will say that there are moments within this film where I definitely found myself damn near tearing up because much like the stories that you hear about what this movie means to everyone, I also have a story like this. A Goofy movie was something that I watched on nauseam following the death of my grandmother. I was 10. It was my first really impactful death, and I just found a kinship with characters like Max, Goofy, Powerline, Roxanne, PJ, Pete, etc. And I fell in love with this movie. This movie has been one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. It is probably my favorite animated film of all time, and one of my favorite films of the 90s, let alone period. And so to get an in-depth documentary that is looking at the making of process, something that already fascinates me as a cinephile, but also at the same time to have it be about one of these beloved classics was just such a win-win situation for me personally. I think this movie hits just all of the right notes of emotion. Like, you never realize how much of an underdog story this is until you actually are hearing the stories from the filmmakers themselves. Perhaps one of the things that I really like about this film is that Kevin Lima, the director behind A Goofy Movie, he kept like legitimate VHS diaries and Betamax, and they splice those in throughout the course of this film, and it just makes it feel like it's a really unique thing to kind of also see the challenges that they had in terms of budget, in terms of studio importance, and really just the critical reception upon its release, something that just even to me blows my mind because I've never met a person that has seen this movie that did not like it. I feel like this movie did the impossible and really gave me a deeper appreciation for this because, like I said, I already have the emotional connection to the source material, but getting kind of to also see the odds that were placed against this movie makes it not only a true underdog story, but also at the same time really makes you root for it and appreciate it that much more because it's one of those production stories that the fact that it even got out and even found an audience and became a cult classic as this, I think just speaks volumes to the doubt or disbelief in this movie from the very part. There is a point in this movie where Kevin Lima actually says in the interview, modern day, where he says that he felt like Disney didn't really believe in them. They just had to release this more out of obligation than actual belief. Mm-hmm. And it's just moments like that that make me appreciate this movie more and make this probably one of the best documentaries that I have ever seen. Again, I feel like I'm really biased, but I could not help but watch this movie with a smile on my face the entire time. And just the back and forth, it felt like hearing these stories, it felt like there was this sense of epicness and blockbuster level storytelling that also kind of grounded in these very real emotions that these characters go through and also that the animators, storytellers went through, also trying to get this movie made and just kind of the lasting payoff. It also goes worth telling, and this will be kind of the mental health moment for this movie as well, that sometimes things don't always end up the way that we initially plan them to. In fact, Lima actually comments on this, and he says that sometimes it is the journey of kind of getting to the other side. It might not look like the way that you generally think, but also kind of finding another life also speaks volumes to this movie and the life that it has been able to have in video, in streaming, in kind of these cult classics in the age of the internet, because there are so many people in my generation that love this movie. And the fact that Donald Glover did a entire Atlanta episode revolving around a fake documentary about this movie, I think just speaks volumes and continues to speak volumes about the quality of the work, that even if it is not the way that you think it's originally going to go down, or that life might not go the way that you want it to, that there are still surprises to be had. And I think that this film just kind of speaks, its legacy speaks to that immensely. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and run Not Just a Goof through our Rorschach rating scale. I'm going to go ahead and give Not Just a Goof a 5 out of 5. This is by far one of the best documentaries that I have ever seen. I'm speaking strictly as a massive fan of this movie, a goofy movie, but also at the same time a cinephile. If you grew up in the 90s, if you have seen this movie, if it has meant anything to you, this movie was meant for you. This movie was made to tell stories like you and kind of remind you that you are not alone in this universe. I love that this film kind of goes into pre-production, post-production, and its lasting legacy. This is the in-depth documentary on one of Disney's most slept-on movies ever made, and today we're celebrating 30 years, so yes. Not Just a Goof is now streaming on Disney Plus. If you guys have seen it, comment below. What did you guys think? But if you guys haven't and you guys love a goofy movie, comment below and let me know your story. What does it mean to you? Why does it mean what it means to you? So on and so forth. But in the show notes below, you guys will find links to our mental health resource library. Again, speaking to the mental health of this movie for me, not a goofy movie, helped me really kind of overcome my first mental health crisis. So it means a lot to me. So again, mental health resource library is in the show notes below, along with links to our social medias, how to support us via Patreon and Paramount Plus. More movie reviews like this, our podcast network, and that follow button. So until next time, remember to keep it classy and keep it goofy.